What's up, tribe? What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is RuPaul Drag Race Season 10, Episode 12. I believe that's right. Um, so y'all know we always start off where we leave off, which is we had that little week in the middle, little interlude. But where we left off was Monet Exchange going home. So we come back into the workroom and she's left her note on the board, long live the sponge. I know that's her thing. If you haven't checked out her video, she did a video with Bob the Drag Queen and she's got the sponge dress on and all that, girl. Uh, Cameron Michael. So Cameron Michael does this whole, oh, I feel so bad that I'm the one that sent her home, and I just hate that I did it, and I hate, and it's like, she was like, I would just rather that I be on the other side than be on this side. So then you should have just pulled a Willem and just said, fuck it, I'm out. Like, I'm not gonna lip sync because I don't like sending people home. So I sacrifice myself and I'm out. Or what's my girl that did it last season on All Stars? You know what I mean? So it's just like bullshit. And Monet said it. I mean, not Monet. I'm sorry. Asia said it. Asia was like, then go home. Like, if that's how you feel, you really feel that bad about sending somebody home, go home. Anyway, that was pretty much that. We have our top five, and they come into the workroom, and of course they're talking and being so happy to be in the top five. I feel like, as a sidebar, I feel like this episode didn't have to be an hour and a half. I feel like they were stretching it. Because when I was watching my DVR and I saw 2 hours, I was like, what the hell? Why is this a 2-hour episode? But my DVR automatically records Untucked. But the episode itself was an hour and a half, and then there was Untucked. So I feel like a lot of this could have been cut out. But neither here nor there. The mini challenge was about decorating a pancake. It was called Resting Brunch Face. And this was basically an advertisement for drag brunch by a certain company because they said it in the thing. And if you've never been to a drag brunch, go. They are fun. I went for my birthday one year. Hilarious. It's a really nice drag brunch down in Miami. But anyway, just a fun time. Good. Laughs and giggles. So they all had to decorate their pancake. They had all of these different, I mean, they had everything from, you know, roast peppers to all types of meat to fruits and vegetables. Like, they had all kinds of stuff. And Aquaria is acting like she is gagging over the meat. So I guess she's vegan. I don't know. But, I mean, she was really like, I'm like, bitch, whatever. Like, stop. You don't have to be that dramatic. But anyway, so they all decorated their pancakes, and the guest judge was Shane. I have it written down. Yeah, Shane Jackson. It's not Shane. It's Shanae. Anyway, I don't know who it is. I guess I'm supposed to know who this guy is, but I don't, and I'm sorry. But he was the guest judge, and he actually tasted all their pancakes, and they had a little story for each pancake. And Asia's pancake was Pam Jaquisha, and you know, she had her little backstory. Her pancake and Eureka's pancake story had the best little backstories. Eureka's pancake was from the jail in Compton, and it was cute. You know what I mean? It was nothing big. I don't think it had anything to do with the actual challenge, but it was cute. Asia won, and she just won some prizes. She didn't win anything, like, because there's no group challenge or anything like that, so she didn't win anything that would have affected the competition, but she did win, so that's cool. The maxi challenge was a yin and yang thing. It was bringing out your inner demon, like that voice that's on your shoulder telling you what you can't do, that taps into all your insecurities, that taps into all of the negativity. So it's like, okay, tell us who you are, or who you think you present to the world, and then tell us about this inner demon, the evil side of you, that person that just sits on your shoulder whispering all the negative shit in your head. And I thought it was an interesting challenge. At first, I was just like, okay, yin and yang, good versus evil, you know, all of that. But Rue really wanted them to dig deep. Like, she didn't want that superficial, oh, I'm a nice person, oh, I'm a bitch. Like, she didn't want that. She really wanted them to dig deep into their psyche and what is it that holds you back? What is it that stops you from fully engaging? What insecurities do you have that could possibly affect you becoming a great drag queen, which is what I think part of what the challenge was about, because we're at the point in the competition now, we're at the top five. Three of you bitches are going to be competing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're here. Like, the finale is later on this month. Like, we're here. So, or at least I think it's later on this month. Anyway, so what is there that might stop you from really digging deep? And honestly, the two people that I knew would have the hardest problem with this are the two people that ended up in the bottom. If you've been watching this show, it's probably not a surprise to you who those two people I think are. And we see when Rue comes through the workroom, that is really what she's trying to get them to embrace. She's trying to get them to really, like, forget the costumes, forget all of the theatrics. I want to really hear, or I really want you to try to tap in and think about who these people are and how do you overcome it. More so than who's talking to you and who's giving you all those insecurities, how do you push past that? I know that sounds real Dr. Phil, but that's really where she was going, I think, with this challenge. And so they had to come up with two looks, obviously, the good and the evil. And the one thing Rue kept asking them as she was going through the workroom was, are you making this from scratch, or is this something you already have with you? And I thought she was just making conversation. But then towards the end, Eureka was having a conversation with, I think it was Cracker. It was either Cracker or Cameron, where she was saying, was getting so, it was Cracker, because Cracker had like a total meltdown over the sewing machine not working. And Eureka was talking to her. Eureka was like, look, I was getting so caught up in my costume and what I was going to wear and how I was going to look and what I'm going to sew and making this original garment that I realized that Rue never said it had to be a garment you made. She said that it should be something that you can pull from what you have to represent your good and your bad. And when I thought about it, I was like, that is kind of what she said, didn't she? Now, somebody like a Asia O'Hare, you expect that Asia O'Hare is going to make something because that's who she is. Like, that's her business. And she can pull out something quick. You know what I mean? She's one of those people that could, like, on Project Runway, that could make a blouse in like 5 minutes. Like, that type of person. So, you see, Rue spent a lot of time. They showed them a lot in the workroom, and you saw her going through and really asking. Like, when she got to Asia was like, I kind of relish in my evil. And at first I was like, what? But then when she went on to explain it, and she actually acknowledged, remember early on, again, if you've been watching my reviews, and I laid Asia out because that challenge when she did so bad, but then she blamed everybody else, and I was helping everybody else, and my garment wasn't ready because I spent so much time on everybody else. And not only did I lay her out, I think everybody who did a review laid her out. But she acknowledged that she was wrong. And she said it was so easy for me to blame everybody else that it really wasn't until I saw that in other people. And I think she was talking about the vixen, but she never said a name. But she said it wasn't until I saw that blame game in somebody else that it made me reflect and be like, that was me. So I thought that was good because, again, and I think that was the purpose of this activity, was for you to really see and understand. And of course, Eureka had the obvious, and I say obvious. I'm saying as a big girl, the obvious, that you're overweight, you're not attractive, no one's gonna like you. You have to be funny, you have to be loud, you have to because you're the fat girl in the room, so you got to be funny, girl. You got to give it to them, And I've even kind of fallen into that. And one of my favorite songs growing up was Tears of a Clown, because I felt like that was me. Like, I could keep a room laughing, but at the end of the day, I ain't gonna say I was crying, because I wasn't crying, but was I really that person that I was portraying to people? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, not to go too deep into me, but that was I really felt that. Cracker couldn't go there. Rue was trying to talk to her. She just wasn't, I don't think she was really getting it. Aquaria, let me say this. I have been really, 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 really trying to fight. A lot of the reviews I look at feel like the fix is in for Aquaria and Eureka. And I see it, but I don't want to accept it. But tonight, I saw a lot of it. I've seen it with Eureka. I'm not going to lie. I've seen it with Eureka. But I like Eureka, so it doesn't bother me as much. But I'm not crazy about Aquaria. So tonight, I felt like Aquaria wasn't getting it either. And Aquaria was so worried about her outfit and her fashion. I don't think she dug real deep either, to be honest with you. And maybe I missed it. But it was like when she hit the stage, it was all about her fashion. And even the judges' critique was all about her fashion. I don't think she dug that deep. I don't think she gave us anything. Well, at least not a lot. Cameron, same thing. Cameron was just saying that, she's just reserved and that's who she's always been. And, just nothing. I don't dislike Cameron. I just don't get a lot from Cameron. And one thing that Asia said in her confessional, she was like, I don't think that her personality is conducive to be a drag superstar because you don't give people anything. Like, your personality doesn't allude a lot. So anyway, that's enough about the workroom. Like I said, they spent a lot of time in the workroom, and I really think they were just milking it to try to extend the episode, to be honest with you, because I don't really think that all that conversation was necessary. But whatever. Then they talked about dating and how hard it is to date, but that's something that Asia has said earlier on as well. Asia talked about, a guy that she dated and, how hard it was to date with drag because they want to date Asia O'Hare. They don't want to date whatever Asia's real name is, But we talked about that before. So, again, filler. But, so we get to the runway. Now, again, y'all. Cameron came out. It was okay. To me, it was reading Cave Woman. And it was like good cave woman, bad cave woman. It was like the exact same outfit, except for one was like white and satiny, and the other one was like caveman with like brown and dirty, and she had dreadlocks, like these blonde dreadlocks and bones and stuff. But it was the exact same outfit. Again, yin and yang. Oh, pause, rewind. Towards the end of the workroom, RuPaul did this really corny split screen skit thing, and where she came in with this blonde pussycat wig that they always want to talk about, Monet. It wasn't even blonde, it was yellow. This red sweatsuit, some flip flops, and she just like, I'm the bitch RuPaul, and I'm the man. Like this. She was just just being over dramatic with being a mean version of RuPaul, and I'm gonna key your car and I'm gonna whoop your ass. And her character was Rude Paul, and of course it was the obvious Parent Trap split screen thing, and the girls did a good job of pretending like they were seeing both of them at the same time, acting this out. And at the time, I thought it was real corny, and I was like, again, why is this in here? That was so unnecessary. It didn't flow. You know what I mean? But then when we got to the runway, I was like, okay. So the way they did the runway as a split screen. They had the good come out and go to the left, well, right, their right, my left. And then they had the bad come out and go to my right, their left. And so they were on stage, like the way we see it, obviously, is that they're on stage at the same time. The judges are reacting as if they're seeing them both come out. And it was really cool. Because they did the split screen for the rest of the episode. It was really, again, that was good. Because when they did that little skit, I was like, all right, that flopped. Unnecessary, moving on. But when you see the runway, it's like, okay, I see what you did there. Then Eureka came out. Oh, the other thing was they had to record a voiceover where you heard them basically describing who they were and describing it and telling you why, the good and the bad. Now, Eureka's good. Her outfit was cute. It was very, I think one of the judges said Cher from Clueless. And that's pretty much, it was. It was the pleated Catholic schoolgirl skirt with the vest and the jacket and the knee-high socks and stuff. When she was giving her good, it was so bubblegum. It was so pageant, so bubblegum that I was like, come on, Eureka. Like, you are not that. Like, I know you want to be that person, but you are just, come on, stop it. But then when her bad came out, which was a variation of the checkered, it wasn't the exact same outfit, but it was very similar. It was. But them boots she had on was fucking everything. All them boots was bad. And again, as a big girl, her rocking them daggone thigh high, lace up, patent leather boots. I said, give me them boots, bitch. But her voiceover was everything too. She did this deep, like divine. Again, if you don't know who Divine is, Google. But this deep divine voice, like play off of that with the big hair. It was good. But again, I expected for when you. I think one thing Eureka did say that was pretty valid was because there's a certain expectation of her performance, and when she doesn't reach that level, people it looks like she's flopped when she's really just done okay. And I can agree with that because I expect a certain level from Eureka, which I got. You know, I expected it and I got it tonight. Then we see Cracker. It was okay. You know, her yin and yang was okay. Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't do any. Like, I'm sitting here now trying to force myself. I didn't even write any notes. I just wrote Cracker okay. So I'm sitting here now trying to force myself to come out, and I can't. It was just okay. Then Eureka. Again, I wasn't crazy about Eureka's second look. The first look, okay. It was Eureka. I mean, Aquaria, excuse me. It was very very couture, you know, I could definitely see that. But then the flip side, she had this bone on the outside of her face thing, which we've seen before. I can't remember who did it, but we've definitely seen that look before. It might have even been Asia. Somebody's done it, and it might not even be this season, but I've seen that look before with the bone and all that. I didn't like it. The judges loved it. They ate her up. Go figure. Asia was actually my favorite, to be honest with you. Asia or Eureka would be my two favorites. And Asia came out in, you know, a glittery bodysuit with like orange and silver. And she had these cute orange balloons. And then her yang was, she had bald head, her very dramatic makeup. And she had black balloons like they had been popped. And like they were dead balloons. And I thought that was I thought it was cute. And then, you know, her, like I said, her negative, her bad, I thought was great. Asia actually would have been my winner if it were me. Because even with the judges' critiques, they talked about she went deep and she embraced it. And, you know, those were the two most positive critiques, I thought. But then when they said who was at the top, I was like, where'd that come from? Guest judges were Ashanti and Laura Dunham from Girls. And I said Lena Dunham. The top was Aquaria, which I did not think Aquaria should have been in the top. The bottom was Cameron and Cracker, which I totally expected to be at the bottom. The lip sync was Nasty Girl by Vanity, which is one of my favorite songs. The lip sync was okay. It was okay. Cameron did a good job. Cameron was sort of on the wings until she kind of got on her back and did this whole thing with her legs, sort of like a synchronized swimming thing where they put their legs up and they do a whole combination with their legs. I love synchronized swimming. I look at it with the Olympics every year. So if you're into synchronized swimming, you know what I'm talking about. If not, just picture it. She's on her back and she's doing a whole little thing with her legs. It's real cute. And that, I think, is what pushed her over the edge. She didn't do a big old death drop and all that. She did a couple of cartwheels and shit. But it was original. It was different and it was original, but it wasn't, you know, doing 10 backflips into a death drop or nothing crazy. And I honestly think I don't think it was major. I don't think it was a big difference, but I do think she did a better job than Cracker. And she stayed. Cracker went home. So now we're down to the top 4. I think Next week, without knowing anything about next week's episode, the bottom next week is going to be Asia and Cameron. And whoever wins that lip sync, then we have our top three. And I was wrong the last time, but I think I'm right this time. I don't remember hearing Vanjie's name. I think I'm right this time. The last time I was wrong, I had missed Vanjie, that they did Vanjie during the mini challenge. But maybe I missed it again this time. Because like I said, when they were in the workroom at a certain point, I just kind of zoned out. But I couldn't fast forward through it because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. But I may have missed Vanjie. Anyway, drop it in the comments. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Peace. Make sure you subscribe.